I'm smoking more than a little bit. Broken nose, tailor-made, bodyguard, drill bit. But since you left, I've been in love with the stillness. Finding myself in nature, just looking for tools to build with. Cause it's DefSeed, also Darius Bueller. Riding the karma Ferris wheel of life so I can move up. Sacrificing your favorite rappers, hard to Montezuma. GPS satellite aligning my sight when I shoot them. I think I started a movement. It's banquet to the death of me. It ain't tatted on me yet, but no, it will eventually. I know I will eventually evolve to what I'm meant to be. But in reality, I'm just a bit unstable mentally. Imagine this rap game, Marcel Duchamp, just stripping the bride bare into whatever I want, don't front. I know you think I came here to stunt, hold up, what? Start to see this ain't what I want, so what? The ride chauffeur, word, well it's still a bus. And my eyes at the stars while I'm still in the mud. Typically solo dolo, you can join me if you must. And we can kick it like Bolo, I'm rolling up in the cut. Stuck in a state of sonder, I'm wondering what the fuck. Balance and playing double dutch, but what used to be around it when it bubbles up. See, I've been missing this feeling like a subtle touch, but since I'm taking off just like a shuttle does, I might as well just put on some Aretha and just cut a rug. It's important to bring it back to when we fell in love. I'm just trying to get some understanding now. I'm just trying to get some understanding now. I'm just trying to get some understanding now. I'm just trying to been moving all across the map, so home I don't know where it's at. And I didn't really understand it. It happened so often I never could plan it, nah. No, 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 I never could plan it. Cause I was out planting roots of strange fruit somewhere wearing outlandish threads that I found us out scrounged around on the ground on this desolate planet. Yeah, the grass I ashed on and Vashon Island I'm smoking with chants on. Steph Curry haters I dance on. I'm DC Gilbert or Anton, yeah. You feel but I'm Rocco with Twister and Otto. So just bring out that $2 chuck, yeah, that's the bottle. Well, yeah, you know the motto. We faded from here to tomorrow, so why waste your time on your sorrows? And to those that I lost, I forever mourn it like Alonzo. Yeah, I get it. If you wanna stay strapped like Gonzo, that's a long nose, but there's a short lifespan for the macho. And I'm trying to build bridges like Squanto. Who turn up? I reside underground like a turnip. I'm so cold I could sunbathe inside a supernova. Still wouldn't burn up, but just fuck what they all say. With me, you in good hands like Allstate. The denim cheap one day, you're all saints, but we can test it late like all J all day. Yeah, let's see the LSD open. To see what happens when you don't speak up. Got a lot on my chest like a few D cups. Now I'm back on my new thing, bro. I'm looking for my zone, wish you could keep up. You can't control me like a zookeeper. The doobie's tucked and stowed in the Subi, bro. So let's hit the road. Had a few things stuck. Back to when I had the Boosie cut. Yeah, feeling myself up the Stonecrest. I'm probably on the stunt with a boneless. Now I'm on the West Coast, but I don't stress. Yeah, nah, should've been gone. Been a few years and I wrote a few songs that I never put out. So they asking what's wrong. Gotta say don't worry when it's time. Then it's time since 9. Doubted that there wasn't most time. See card, no telling what you gon' find. One time stay greasy like 4 grinds and you pushing a ton when eclipse my shine. See, I got all the trees we can blow. I got the keys we can go out to the keys of the coast. Pour up a drink for the toast, but still ain't what we want the most. Until you can see I'm the GOAT. But it's getting difficult to maintain every single day, but still letting my dread swing low for the chair to carry me away from oh no. See, I'm just trying to get some understanding now. I'm just trying to get some understanding now. I'm smoking, floating, don't know where I'm heading now. I'm just trying to get some understanding now.
Case the producer.
DefSeed. I just gotta get it right. I just need to get it right. I just need to get it right. No, I don't really know where I'm headed. No, I don't really know where my head is. But I'll be okay if I don't get it. Yeah, I'll be okay if I don't get it. I guess I wasn't ready for the lesson, but I just need to get it right. I just need to get it right. I just need to get it right. Look, I just need to get it. I've been feeling automatic, mind is moving, stuck in traffic, clock stop or slow it down like what just happened, chain reaction, facing consequences for my past offenses, act offensive, need to loosen up at all the drugs, so don't relieve the tension, I'm taking some acid, so I can see the blueprints, I'm unique, no one else's shoe fits, see I do this true shit, got pussies trying to push me, I should thank them, cause I needed it, the fire was dying, so thanks for feeding it, I'm sick of wasting all my time on these non-believers, they're never around when you need them, a one-way street, ejecting them out the passenger seat is how I treat them. Y'all all will notice this the killing season. Yeah, I started a hate rap. Ops are the opportunists who only rap for checks. See, I flow cause I need to do this. Ink is proven to be therapeutic, so I don't lose it all to the shadows of time. See, that's really some ink and ruin. So I lay low, stay high. Eyes red as brake lights. Now it's hard to make time when I wanna create rhymes. I'm home late, feet hurt. I ain't even eat first. Gotta use that hunger for the thunder that can sink earth. Clayton Kershaw, fastball to a sinker, but G and Carlos standing out the park through the bleachers. Uncle Drew with these moves, preach I gotta teach first. You could lead me down the water, but I ain't a drinker. We fight, fuck, fall in love. Story of humanity, insanity has got me stuck. Wondering if this is all I'll ever be. Still don't buy the bullshit you selling me. I knew it from the jump. Nick News, Linda Ellaby, anti-environmentalist, burning hella trees. I need to shed this form of shell of me. The hell the jealousy of those who never felt they had to end it all. Well, was that the real shit? I just in the call. Well, no, I don't really know where I'm headed. No, I don't really know where my head is. I'm sitting here thinking we can pick up where we left it. Type the message up in drafts and said fuck it, never sent this. Where this gray is unrelenting. That's why I need the green like an Elysian scene. I'm smoking too much, now I forget my dreams. Yeah, well, I just gotta get it right. I just gotta get it right. So now I lay up, stay up all night. I can't escape from how I feel. You still remain. Although the lease is up inside my brain, it's still too hard to let you go. So I wrote this to let you know that I still think of you from time to time. But I won't call, you know I'm lying if I say I'm fine. And that's all, I spill too much and then get back in line to fill my cup, expecting something different. Sanity now is slipping, but no, I don't really know where I'm headed. No, I don't really know where my head is. But I'll be okay if I don't get it. Yeah, I'll be okay if I don't get it. I guess I wasn't ready for the lesson, but get it right. I just need to get it right. Yeah, I just need to get it right.
DefSeed.
Yeah.
Where'd you come up with that DefSeed name?
So I have a slight fascination with growth and plants and trees and stuff. So that's kind of where the seed comes from when I was starting out rapping and stuff. And then that combined with like I was just heavy into Mos Def at the time. Whether it was like Black Star with him and Talib or Black on Both Sides, New Danger, all that stuff that he's done. That really heavily influenced my first kind of exploration into listening to rap music as a kid, as a teenager. So yeah, it was a combination of being inspired by him, who's my favorite MC at the time, and my whole little like plant growth green aesthetic too, just kind of mashed together. And
Nothing to do with cannabis.
No, actually, yeah, because I came up with the name. I came up with that name before I really started smoking weed heavily. So that didn't really.
I'm just kidding. I didn't even think that.
No, I mean it's convenient now. Now that is a regular part of my life. But yeah, no, that it was not weed inspired.
What about I guess you said that already, like the Def part. Why? Because you were into that, Mos Def and...
Yeah.
Why DefSeed?
Why DefSeed?
Yeah. I got the seed part and I get the Def part.
Honestly, it's just because the way it flows to me when you say
good.
it sounds better than if it was like Seed Def or Mos Seed or like... I didn't want to like completely bite the name, just a subtle slight nod, nod where it's like I'd have to explain it for you to catch that reference. I want it to kind of stand on its own without it seeming like I'm just plainly biting this guy. That's kind of how it
played into. So from Georgia.
Yeah.
to DC to Seattle.
Yeah, went to college in Pennsylvania, and then
For what?
well, I went to run track initially, but then I was like, "Fuck this! I don't really like track that much." As
like running.
Yeah, not as. It was for a Division I school, so
Yeah.
like that has to be your job basically as a student, and then also an athlete full time. And my main passion, sport wise, is basketball. You know, so like it was hard for me to really put and dedicate the appropriate time to be as good as I wanted to be if I was going to be on the track team there. But the way it worked out was, since it's in the Patriot League, the way it's set up is they don't do like athletic scholarships. You just get like financial aid, but you get a spot for being on the team. But it's not like just because you're good at the sport, you can get in. It's like an athletic scholarship. So I quit and was still able to like stay in the school because it technically wasn't tied. They didn't give me any money to run track explicitly. It was just kind of giving me the spot there. So once I found that out, and after talking over with my folks, because that was kind of the hardest thing to do, was to convince them that that was the right decision for me.
To go to that school or to not be
No,
a part
to
of
quit.
track?
To quit.
track?
Because
they were paying for you to go to that school.
Yeah, paying for me. It was a combination of them paying for me and also me getting a little bit of money. But it was, I mean, I'd been an athlete my entire life up until that point.
Why didn't they want you to
in
quit
their
track?
Huh?
Why didn't they want? Yeah, I'm sorry. You were about to explain.
Yeah, no,
that.
I mean, in their minds, I'd always been an athlete. I was a track star in high school, won a lot of awards and stuff. To them, I guess it just seemed like that's just the natural progression for me, at least at the time, was to stick with that and have that just be school and track for those 4 years. Turns out that wasn't quite in the cards, but it's worked. It worked out definitely for the best. But yeah, just convincing them of that at the time was difficult for sure.
But you're an artist now, or you were always an artist? I mean, you're obviously physically, dude. You could just easily be good at sports.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Like 6'3".
Yeah, there we go, dude. You're like,
and I mean, I've been
a whole foot.
Yeah, and again, I mean, aside from these past 3 years, I had been an athlete my whole life basically, since I could like walk almost, you know. So this has been a new phase of my life where it's like I haven't had to like work out every day or like worry about what I'm eating or what time I'm going to bed and like stuff like that, you know, that kind of discipline, that training to be good at a sport kind of.
And then when you stopped focusing on sports, did you start focusing on music? Is that when you start focusing on music?
More so, yeah. I mean, that didn't really come in until like my sophomore year in college, even like because when I first started rapping and writing songs and stuff, it was midway through high school, up until like freshman, sophomore year of college. It was just a hobby, you know. I've always, as a kid, that's why I kind of feel weird about calling myself an artist, because it's not like I ever really nurtured that side of myself until like these past few years, even, you know. It's like, but as a kid, I always, and this plays into why I do enjoy rapping, is as a kid I always was reading books. Started reading at early age, always just loved reading and working with words and stuff in general.
Natural transition into rap music. So
that's what drew me to rap music when I was actually old enough to like look at, listen to music on my own and discover what it is I actually like to listen to, not just what my parents played all the time.
Right.
And I just love the wordplay and just feeling challenged, listening to lyrics and different flows and you know,
different meanings and
finding different meanings from that. Yeah,
and not only that, this is something I love about hip hop, is that words are constantly changing and language is constantly changing.
Yes,
and a lot of times they push it.
Yeah, and it's kind of the forefront of.
There's some of the artists that are actually, you know, shaping what language is becoming.
Yeah, I mean, E40 alone has probably created like dozens and dozens and dozens of slang terms over his.
I don't know E40 alone.
He's a rapper out of the Bay Area. I mean, he's been rapping for a long time, but he's created like the whole like for shizzle and all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, out of Oakland, that Bay Area, that's kind of where he's from. That kind of originated a little over there, but yeah, it's crazy to see how creative you can be with words, like especially with rap. You can see it being put on the forefront. Like,
dude, I never liked reading. Like,
no, really?
Ever. Like, I don't hate it, but it's just like, I'll do it if I'm trying to learn something, and like, I don't know why.
See, with me is I loved reading, but I hated writing. I didn't like writing, which is funny because that's what I do for my job.
I like writing
now,
and I don't like reading.
Yeah, man, I was the opposite.
It's hard for me to read them, and it's easy for me to like make up something. But my grammar's probably not going to be great, and and I don't know, it ain't going to be traditional the way I write something down.
Yeah.
But I like the writing part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always funny how
some people are readers and some people are not.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, it's funny. Even my handwriting now to this day still looks like I'm 7 years old.
Well, that like probably for everybody. That's probably like
as you type now, it's
everybody types and everybody texts.
Yeah,
and it really is faster. I could text something like a whole song lyrics faster than I could write them.
Oh yeah, all my so it's
probably
funny.
Practice. But.
Yeah, all my song lyrics are in my phone now, but up until my junior year in college, I was still writing it out. Just because I liked the exercise of writing it down.
It helps memorize.
That's why it's always
physically.
It's always funny when I hear rappers being like, "Yeah, I just go in the booth, no hook. Like I don't write it down. I just
who says that?
Say it. A lot of guys
do. They?
And they do. I mean, for a lot of
improv it.
A lot of songs, yeah, you can see they just like sit in the studio and smoke weed, and then they'll go and like punch in a couple bars, go out, chill out a little more, punch in a couple more bars, just kind of build it from there, which is one way to do it.
There's a lot of bad rap music out there, man.
Well, yeah. So it's like, in me, I'm very meticulous and I choose my words carefully. So for me, writing it down was a way to kind of keep my thoughts,
solidify what actually should be performed,
and see it. Because for me, I kind of see it as a puzzle, the way I approach a beat. So like I kind of lay the pieces down like you're putting out a jigsaw puzzle on the table. It's like, all right, this line fits here. All right, maybe I should tweak that word, but let's see.
Also, you're pretty in tune, man. When I heard you on Tuesday, you were in tune, and that's something that a lot of rappers, for some reason, they just neglect. Like they do all the wording and the phrasing and that part, and then they're not in tune, meaning like pitch wise.
Yeah, that took me. I actually, honestly, man, that's a recent thing for me. Recent being like the last 2 or 3 years, and I think it comes to just kind of trusting your voice and trusting your ear. Because before, for me, like I said before, like I never really was an artist or anything, so like this is all kind of brand new. So like I knew how to write rhymes and structure bars together and stuff, but like I never took it any further as far as figuring out pitch or like working in some harmonies, and like because I always never felt, I never tried to sing or harmonize or use anything like that. I never tried, so it was just like, oh, I'm gonna just like music lessons, But then as I got a little more comfortable and wanted to just experiment, you listen to so many different types of rap and so many different types of music in general, you pick up different things and you want to try them out. So it's like, all right, fuck it. Let me just see how it sounds, and if I can carry a tune, I can use that, and we'll go from there.
You should use that though. That's the thing, because not only are you just an artist, now you're a musician.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, here's something that always like super. Well, I was gonna say super amazes me. There's something that like it's always super impressive to me about Tupac, and I've brought this up before to people, and I think maybe he had perfect pitch. You know what that is?
Yeah, not quite. I feel like I have an idea of it, but I don't. I couldn't tell you like textbook definition of it.
It's just like you hear something or a pitch or say a middle C on a piano, and then 2 weeks later you may have not heard a single like. You
can recall it. Like,
you can recall it. Yeah, it's that. Yeah. It's kind of like, and the like classic way of stating is that people with perfect pitch sort of hear pitch the way we see color. You know what blue is, and you know what green is, and you can tell the difference, even though they're kind of similar. To some people, and some people are colorblind and don't see it that easily.
See certain colors.
And so people with perfect pitch, right? And I think Tupac maybe had perfect pitch, apart from just him already being extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
But it seems like he did. Like, and you listen to his songs, man, and they're always like. They're actually, he's being a big dude and having like a deep timbre.
Yeah.
But when you listen to his songs, like, let's say like She Knows Them even better than I do. Like, let's say.
Around the corner?
Yeah, sure. Sing a little bit of that. Just do it.
See death around the corner. trying to say hi, will I survive?
She has perfect pitch too, so she's like, I see death around the corner, trying to stay hot. Like it's pretty up there in the pitch.
Yeah,
but
those inflections.
But he has those undertones too, where like you almost want you hear that really low, but really when you listen to the pitches, they're actually really high.
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to go back and try to pick up on that.
Yeah,
that's dope. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like he's like
every song is different.
Or like the bit of Lord Knows.
Voice won't sound the same for different.
Yeah, no, he's definitely like he's really in tune.
Yeah,
and if you listen to the pitches, they're actually pretty high, even though his whole like timbre
on the surface it doesn't sound.
It sounds like he's
that
just
much
speaking, but actually he's super in tune, man, and it's super high pitched. It's definitely not his like natural. It's like his natural speaking voice, but at the same time, he's that pitch inflection is definitely there.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to go back.
Tupac didn't
listen to that. Yeah, but that's awesome. No, that's something I could have gone my whole life.
Just listen back to Tupac and notice that he's actually singing pretty high, especially for like how low his voice is.
That's crazy.
You know, I'm in awe always when I hear him, and then I try to replicate it. I'm like, man, how do you speak so fast and at the same time be in tune and just something else, huh?
That's nuts.
What were we talking? Oh, what do you think of this whole? We're talking about words and all of that. Are you a Bob Dylan fan at all?
No, not too much. I mean, I
most people are not.
Yeah, not my cup of tea. But honestly, I don't actually know. Scratch that. I don't want to say he's not my cup of tea because I honestly never really took the time to sit down and listen to him. I respect his iconic status and the things he stood for and the power of his songwriting.
It's kind of how I feel about Tupac. Like I love and admire him, and though I did take the time to listen to him and all that, but like I'll mention Tupac to other people and they're like, not my cup of tea, but they've never heard any of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's kind of what
aside from like the California Love and
I didn't even know that song until like months ago. Actually,
really,
I knew a bunch of other songs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why. I didn't know that song until like a month before we left Nashville.
That one played on the radio.
And I was like, this is super catchy. But even that song, I didn't like it as much as other music.
When that first came on the radio when I was a kid, I always hated it because it was on the radio all the time, and it never. For some reason the hook, as a kid I didn't really like it for some reason, so it didn't.
When did that song come out? When he was alive?
In the 90s, I don't remember.
That was when he was alive.
Yeah, yeah, he's in the music video for it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought maybe it was like
I don't know, maybe like 95, 96.
Right before he died.
Right before, I would guess. Yeah.
I wish he was still alive. I'm one of those people that like is always thinking, I wish he was alive.
Man, I wish everybody was still alive. We lost so many musicians this year. It's depressing as hell, man.
That's true. But
Bowie, Prince, fucking.
They always say that. But they always say that like something has to go for something else to come in. Like the cycle of life.
That's true.
Speaking of seeds and all of that.
That's true. Yes.
But we were what I was trying to say about the Bob Dylan. Did you hear that they tried to award him the Nobel Prize for literature?
He won it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but when I say try, I mean like they haven't been able to contact him.
That's right, because he like doesn't want it or something.
Well, he hasn't responded, so you can't even speak for him. And isn't that something? It's just not that I could speak for him, but the way I think about it is like, well, they're trying to award him something for things that he said and did 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Where was the Nobel Prize then?
Where was it back then? Yeah, I mean, I think that speaks to his overall. I mean, it's the same thing where it's like, why the fuck should rappers really care about Grammys? Who wins one? If you feel like it, because people who vote on them, they don't really listen to rap all the time.
Dude,
they
there's
don't
so
really
much good rap that isn't, and that isn't even incorporated.
So why should you put so much validation into something that you feel like doesn't really respect your art?
It's just a little business, and they're just trying to do it
for lip service, and people work themselves up about like, oh, they don't respect it, but it's like, that should be obvious.
If you award someone like Bob Dylan, it's only for attention for you, not for him. And I kind of see that. And
especially at this point in his life now, he definitely doesn't need.
He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the recognition.
He can definitely see through when he can tell if the validation is like genuine. Or
why didn't they give it to me 30 years ago? Yeah, 10 years after I wrote all these.
It's almost like songs. It's like a lifetime achievement kind of award kind of thing,
Yeah, when he's like, yeah, and that's true about the Grammys thing though. Like it's like, yeah, you're right. Like people, I don't really pay attention to the Grammys anyways. Yeah. But I remember one time I was talking to some kids about the Grammys, and we're talking about what's his name? Kendrick Lamar. You know, did he win a Grammy this past time?
So he had lost it to Macklemore for his first album, Good Kid, Mad City, but I think he won it for his second one, To Pimp a Butterfly.
Right, and his second record was not as good as his first one.
Ooh, hot take.
I don't think.
Hot take. It was just tough. I think they're both really good, but for different reasons. I think for a debut album, Good Kid, Mad City is one of the greatest rap albums ever for a debut album. That's like, it's incredible as far as how well put together it is, lyrically, sonically. The beats.
I could listen to every. I heard it like 20 times, and I don't hear rap records that often.
I'll give you this: the replay value on Good Kid, Mad City is probably higher than To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah,
I would say that. I think the musically,
the content too, poetry, just all of it in it.
I don't know if I'll go there with the content, but I think musically, I think it has a better replay value for people in general.
It's also not over processed. Like you can hear his speaking voice in it, and like he's not. And then the second one is like semi out of tune, and there's a lot of like bits where it's like just kind of cut. Like it almost looks like a puzzle.
See, but I think To Pimp a Butterfly is going to end up being taught in classrooms, like along with Tupac stuff, like
really?
20 years from now, man. Yeah, man, that's like a seminal like piece of art as far as capturing.
I'll have to listen again.
As far as capturing like the modern Black experience in the 21st century.
What is the modern Black experience?
I mean, honestly, I can't really be the one to authentically tell you. But then again, I think that speaks to it in general, is the fact that we're not a monolith. People come from different walks of life. I started out middle class, but then moved to a nicer, mostly white area in Maryland, so my experiences are going to be different than what Kendrick Lamar is talking about, but there are still underlying themes within that I still can relate to. And I think that album kind of does a great job of not worrying about trying to stick to any musical trends or even trying to establish any musical trends as far as like flows and beats and stuff. That's
kind of how I felt about that record, though.
It's its own unique kind of standalone project as far as the way it sounds amidst this landscape of where all the other projects that came out at that time. And then you take that along with like,
I felt like it was less unique than the first one because of all like they took in and as like, not just as a musician, but someone who's doing like this podcasting, and I record and I'll listen to anybody, anything from country to rap to music from the 1400s to music that might be in the future. Yeah, all of that. But I'm trying to like when I record people here, I generally like I don't nothing's ever auto-tune for sure. I don't over-process things. I don't cut and paste things. And I'm trying to stay away from that. And that's how I felt like it was not like so much standalone. It was more like going with whatever is currently happening.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'll have to listen again.
It's so much jazzier than what is out there,
But some of those jazzier bits were just what is it called? What's that word? You take a bit, it's and you samples. Like some of the they use samples in there.
Not a ton of samples. A lot of that stuff. Nah, man.
Some of that was live played.
You should look up the groups, the artists he works with. Like a lot of stuff was like with like Thundercat on the bass. Yeah. Flying Lotus.
By the way, I love samples.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love samples?
Yeah. Who doesn't love samples? But actually on that album there was a lot of live instrumentation, and you can see that in the Untitled project he put out.
I guess I just have to listen to it again. Maybe Maybe I didn't like the mix or the way it was.
There are some samples, but a lot of that stuff is more instrumental music than
I realized. Maybe it's the over processing. So I can hear like the just like it's all just it's just
See, it's tough, man, because I do think that Good Kid, Mad City has a higher replay value.
I gotta listen to it again.
But I think that as far as what will stick around longer and throughout his catalog and what will.
Who knows
what means more profound wise? I think To Pimp a Butterfly definitely hits that kind of mark as far as like, I don't want to say like socially conscious, because that's a label that rappers always like, I'm not conscious, cause
what?
Like, I mean, it's a whole thing where it's like you don't people don't want to. No one wants to be put in a box, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it, but
yeah. I hear an artist don't want to feel like that. I don't want to feel like that, like as a songwriter.
See, I kind of like it because it's like I see it as a challenge to bring you something different. You know, it's like if you're gonna label me and feel like that if I just make this type of music, it's like, oh, he just raps about this, or he's just this kind of rapper. You know, it's like, oh, okay.
Else.
If you think this is all I can do, well, let me see what else. You know, I might be able to.
Well, I really
you
liked
guys.
your collaboration with Roy.
Thank you.
The other day, like that was cool, dude. And,
Thank you.
Who made the beats again?
So the beat to My Wave is this guy out in the UK named Joe Green. He had contacted Roy about the beat, and Roy sent it to me. And at this point we had already done one song together, Pretty Blues. I don't know if you've heard that or not. You should check it out. It's actually pretty good.
I'll listen to it.
And so at that point we were trying to figure out just make another song together, just because at that point we'd only done one song together and it worked out well. So it's like, all right, let's see what else we can go from there. So Roy was like, hey, I got this beat from this guy named Joe Green out in the UK, London. It's pretty funky. You should give it a shot and see how it goes. And we didn't really have a plan for the song when I first got the beat. So he was just like, yeah, I don't really... He was like, I'm not really quite sure where we should go with it. So how about you just try to write some bars and we'll try to structure it around there and see where it goes. So a month or two passes in between. I work on that and some other things. And so the hook for the song is like, I'm on my wave right now.
Yeah.
I'm on my wave right now. So like that was just me kind of just baked, like freestyling it, because it was like, okay, I have some verses. The hook would go here. But I'm like, oh, well, we don't really have a hook yet. So let me just come up with something that like I feel like just the first thing that came to my mind when I was listening to the beat over and over again. Like, let me I was like a placeholder almost. I was like, I'll show it to Roy and I'm sure we'll tweak it and go from there, you know. But then I did that and he was like, oh no, that's awesome. We should stick with that. I was like, really?
Like
all right, cool, we'll go for it. But I mean, people like it. People we played it for and performed it for so far. I mean, it seems like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it seems like that was a good choice for us to keep that.
And you guys are you guys still planning on continuing? You know, your duo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've never.
Get this guy from the UK to keep sending you some beats.
Seriously, man.
We're
Joe,
talking good.
Yeah, we never talked about like being a duo, but we've definitely talked about like I've definitely talked about like having him do some vocals on some of my stuff, and if he ever needs like, because he's worked with other rappers too. But like, yeah, if he's have any other songs that he thinks I'd be a good fit for, I totally would be down. I mean, sure, down the line, definitely put out maybe like a small project of something. But it's not something we've.
Well, so you came up with
discussed.
The wave part. Well, you came up with I'm on my wave right now.
Yeah, I just kind of like just.
Well, that was the main
it.
part. That was the main part. You know.
Yeah, that's the whole hook. That's why at first I wasn't sure about it because at first, to me, recording it felt a little repetitive.
Yeah.
Because it's just a lot of repetition. I'm on my wave right now, which it's catchy and it sounds cool, but.
Well, you could do it and not have it be that long. You could do it and then not, or when you do another song.
It could, yeah. You could
take the same sort of platform, but just maybe cut out a minute.
And it works, but I think the reason it works for this song is because just the energy that the song has going behind it, and all that stuff too, and just kind of playing around and having fun saying it, not saying it the same way each time. I think kind of makes it feel a little fresh, and it's easy for people to catch and sing along. I mean, you were there for Columbus.
Yeah, I was singing along.
Yeah, people were singing along to like it's very easy to instantly pick up and sing along with, which I think goes a long way too. So I was surprised that actually worked better than I because there was a concern I had at first, but then I was like, I think just because I've been working on this song for a while and I just repeat it over and over and over again, that it sounds hella repetitive, but to people who are just listening to it, just coming through on SoundCloud or whatever, or coming to see us perform at an open mic, it may not have that same kind of effect that it may have for me.
Because they didn't hear it a ton of times.
And that's kind of how
they didn't write it.
That's kind of how I feel about a lot of stuff I write, where it's like, where it's like I'm already kind of over it, but but people still like hearing it, so like I'll still do it, you know.
That's one of the goals, man.
It is,
as an artist, is to make something that you like or that you're so happy with that you're willing to do it over and over again.
You
might have to, you know, if you're getting paid for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, if you're paying me for it, I'll do it as many times as you want. You know, like,
not me. That's why I got rice and beans in my fridge.
Yeah, no, not you specifically, just like in general. Yeah.
I mean, like, well, test. Yeah, the levels are fine. My voice is like 111.
Just like, oh, like, am I coming through?
Nah, it's good. What else do we talk about? What else happened? What else happened in this world? Oh, I got one. Dakota Pipeline. Oh, dude, you know what I never do and I always want to do?
What?
Like, Twitter's awesome, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking I got to start like doing the thing where like I Twitter something and ask people to ask me a question.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's give that a shot for the first time on Music City Spotlight.
Let's try it.
And in the meantime, while I'm doing this, hey, can you write a Twitter text and ask him just what to ask DefSeed and then tag him? In the meantime, just because somebody, I was talking to a friend earlier and he was asking me, he lives in Boston, I haven't seen him in a while. He was telling me about the Dakota Pipeline. He's like, did you hear about all that? I'm like, yeah, man, of course. But how do you feel about it?
Okay, so I'm not 100% on the Dakota Pipeline, but that's where the correct me if I'm wrong, but they're trying to build, I don't know if it's the Keystone Pipeline, but they're trying to build that oil pipeline that cuts through reservation lands, right? That cuts through reservation lands, right? And there's a big issue about that as far as it displacing people or to some degree, where it's not cool that they're just kind of intruding on people's lands like that, right? As far as my understanding of it.
It's not even just that. That's not what pisses me off the most. Yeah, that pisses me off too.
Yeah.
Well, the whole country was founded off on slavery and the killing off of Native Americans.
Yeah.
So we could always talk about that, but that's not what's like.
Because I mean,
what do you mean?
No. Just like it says, it's like that should already be an understood like foundation.
Like already that's a problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's not what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the fact that they're trying to cut through a major water source. You know.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know the full
straight through the country. Well, I'm retarded. Like, what do I know? You know, it's not like. Hold on 1 second. So, podcast live now. Questions for.
I don't know if that's you on there.
Podcast is live now. No, dude. Try to tag them and then just say, well, here, you do it. I'm trying to talk to them. What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, what pisses me off is. I mean, like, all that, like, there's nothing you can do about all the killing off of all the natives anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's already happened.
Yeah, they're gone.
So.
I'm concerned about the future of the river. You know, the Missouri River that cuts straight through the country. Mm-hmm. It's a huge river, a significant source of water, and eventually the thing's going to not hold up. It will leak. It's not a maybe.
Yeah, it's just a matter of when.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just don't want that to happen.
Yeah, no.
But.
Yeah, man, it's fucked. I mean, it's like you think we've treated our native people like bad enough, you know? It's like, why? It's tough, man, because I have this talk a lot with my friends as far as like why certain things are the way they are, and how frustrating it is to feel like there's no realistic solution because you have corporations with all this money and all this influence that you have to fight against, you know? So you're like, how can I possibly?
They have their own cops,
you know. But it's frustrating because to me it's like these solutions have really easy fixes. It's just a matter of like, what do we prioritize as a country as far as like what do we feel like is important?
That's something super important to me, because I don't want to see all the fresh water gone.
Yeah.
You know, already, like, well, come on, let's. I guess we'll have to bring up the coral reef. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're all being.
No, they supposedly. And what do I know? I ain't no marinist or whatever, marine biologist.
Yeah, no.
But Did you hear recently? Huh? Did you hear recently that apparently it's officially dead?
That which one? All of them, or just?
I'm not sure. That's
the
what
Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah, the Great Barrier Reef.
Because I know that
not like all over the world.
Yeah, I know a large percentage of them are dead to the point where it's like, yeah.
Well, that's what the Great Barrier.
Where there's no possible chance for like regrowth. At least like not.
It takes too long.
Not in our lifetime. Yeah, not in our lifetime. We'd have to all be gone, honestly, for that to happen.
I don't even think we're seeing the actual outcome yet. Like,
no, we're not yet.
Wait till you start seeing all the other fish that die.
Not yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Not yet.
But it's a whole ecosystem.
But it's all a hoax, though. You know, like,
is it?
No, it's not.
Don't know.
It's just that's just the people who look who.
I don't mean to drag on.
In the face of all that evidence of things going to shit and things dying, you know, it's like, yeah, sure, it's circle of life, things die and regrow, but like, it shouldn't happen this fast. It shouldn't, you know,
just
not
like you shouldn't
this.
Kill off a whole race of people.
Not like
in
this.
10 years.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, but the fact that there's still a lot of people around here who look at that, and in the face of all of that evidence, are still like, nah, it didn't happen, or it's their fault, or that's just the way it goes. That's what's frustrating, is just that kind of like, it's either like a willful ignorance or just happy being okay, not really knowing about what's going on, you know, or being like an unwillingness to be informed is what kind of frustrates me, because with the internet now, it's the easiest thing in the world.
I like your attitude. I like your like you're conscious of it, and at the same time not overbearing. I feel like I can be overbearing because I'll just start going on and on about things like that.
I mean, if it's something that you really feel passionate about, then by all means, you know, fight for that and try to convince people of your belief, you know. But I feel like it's the basic duty of everybody to just be informed and just know about things, because it's super easy to just know and be aware of what's going on. You know, I'm not asking you
recycle
to like,
a little more.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to like
trash and everything,
to go march in the streets and like write your congressman, you know. But like, if you read, I don't know, watch the news or read your local newspaper, you know, just like have some sort of idea of what is going on in your community and the world around us, you know.
And then you could go down some sort of hard. Yeah, but me, I end up going down like way too deep down like a certain road, you know, like the same friend that we were talking about Dakota Pipeline and all that. We ended up talking about I was telling about how like it's a goal of mine to build my own house. Yeah. And not necessarily in this fashion with like electricity and everything, just like maybe out of Adobe or something like that. Totally doable, especially in this kind of state. You know, there's a lot of homeless people here for a reason. Yeah. We were talking about electricity and Elon Musk's battery. Yeah. That apparently can power a whole house for like ever. Mm-hmm. And they have them apparently in Australia. That's what I read. I could be wrong. It's crazy. That's what I thought. And he had trouble trying to bring it over here because if you know, within the past year they made it illegal to be completely off the grid. You have to be like a certain. You have to be connected to electricity by a certain percent. I don't know what it is.
I see. Yeah.
So that doesn't work.
That's tough.
It's illegal.
Yeah, I think that's a matter of technology outpacing legislation, you know, where it's that's like true. The technology is there for it, but the way our legal system works is that it takes time for that to catch up and be like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. If it's okay and that's safe, then yeah, sure, that's totally fine. But I think it may be caught in that kind of gray area where it's like a bit ahead of the time as far as us being able to say that's legally okay to do, which is frustrating because you can miss out on a lot of potentially good things because you have a lot of people who may not support that kind of thing, happy to hide behind those laws, being like, oh, well, nope, can't do it. Sorry.
Why wouldn't you though? You know, a battery that could power your whole house. Why wouldn't you? That doesn't cause any more. You know, you don't have to keep mining for coal and. Yeah,
but how do people who run those coal and oil companies make money? You know, where do, you know, how
batteries? I don't know.
But for real, like that's. It's like, yeah, everyone should have that.
It's like the DEA not wanting to. Well, I mean, okay, here's a similar argument, and I know we're bouncing off the walls here, but
I mean, it's a similar train of thought.
The DEA not like wanting marijuana to be legal. right? And then one argument that I hear from people, which is kind of like your argument just now, is, well, what would they do? Because that's their job, is basically just to like find drugs, and which is why a lot of people are in jail for marijuana possession,
which is bullshit,
which is complete bullshit. And it should be, if anything, if the government cared about you, they would be out there promoting it. Hey, let's all, like, you know what I mean? If you really want us to be productive, right? Look at your life and not like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just like,
oh yeah, I mean the whole reason
but where would those jobs go
in the first place is just
what
bullshit and mixed with racism,
and
you know,
partly. Well, I don't know if that it's illegal because of racism. I think that
going back to why it is the way it is,
I think they used racism to make it illegal.
It was a scare tactic after the Spanish-American War.
The blacks are raping and the Mexicans are lazy.
Yep.
You know, and that kind of, but
even then, if you fast forward to the 60s when Nixon was around, they back like the whole MK Ultra trying to like do mind control, all that weird shit with LSD and stuff. Nixon was trying to kind of strengthen the drug laws, or like kind of start the war on drugs, and so he had them do tests on marijuana to prove how dangerous it is. And when he got the results back that like it really wasn't that bad, he was like, no, that can't be right. Cover it. Like, no, that's not, no.
But like there's like the pushing of it from people like banks and pharmaceuticals and
it's a lot of money and interest. It's like, why we don't want to let this person who can take away money from us, you know?
And relating back to that same old argument, like, well, where would all those jobs go for those people that are arresting all the... Well, fuck them, dude. They shouldn't be doing that. Actually,
doing what?
Like arresting people for you really shouldn't even be arresting anybody for any drugs, because when anybody's doing harm to themselves and completely immobilizing themselves, you're not.
And plus, like punishment like that, punitive punishment for people who have drug issues is the complete wrong way to go about actually solving that issue. But then again, it comes down to, does our society really care about actually solving that issue, or do we just want to just lock them all up?
I think so, which is why everyone keeps trying to.
I like to think so.
Everyone's pushing towards legalizing cannabis.
More and more people are.
But it would already be legalized, and like, you could, again, the same argument of like, well, it's one of those things where the people are beyond legislation or people's opinions, but I don't think it's that. I think it's just actually few people holding other people back. You know?
Yeah, I mean, and
for money and for other reasons.
It's that supportive with people who also just grew up being indoctrinated, thinking that this is a bad, evil substance. You know, so it's a combination of a lot of things where it's people, more and more people as time goes on, seeing it's really not that bad, and that changes their opinion about it. But it does take time, unfortunately, is the thing, but it which sucks because it doesn't help people who are still getting fucked over for it now, you know.
My mom reminds me of that when she's like, well, when I was a kid, you know, I know there was like maybe like that one house on the block, and everybody knew they were like druggies, and it was like, oh, they're smoking weed.
Yeah. Oh, they're so bad. Yeah.
But it's like, I was like, Mom, they were really like, they probably weren't smoking weed.
Yeah, it's like
probably snorting pills and drinking Listerine.
Probably doing way worse stuff, most likely.
Well, weed isn't bad for you, though. That's the thing. It's good for you.
Yeah.
And the misinformation is there. And I remember as a child, I started smoking pot when I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
And as a teenager, I remember like going through the books, and we had just gotten the internet. When I was 14, that's like when YouTube started. Before it was owned by YouTube.
That was right about then. Yeah.
Right? You're 25?
I'm 25.
Oh, so am I. So,
okay,
you know, so around 14, internet starts really blowing
2006, up. 2007 was right.
Yeah, and YouTube starts really growing around there and all of that. And I remember like thinking, or really like critically thinking, the decisions I was making and what I was doing, and going through my school books, and I remember I took a health class once, and there was obviously a whole whole chapter or two on drugs.
You go through the whole drug thing, yeah.
And then I go through that, like they had like one page on marijuana, and I was like, oh well, this may be this, and then this may be that, and I was like, this all sounds like lies.
Well, that's a thing. It's like, so you're 14-year-old you, and you're like, oh, well, if it's lies about weed, then maybe they're lying about coke. Maybe they're lying about meth. You know, that's how that starts. That's why the whole DARE program ended up causing more harm than it did help, because you you put them all on this same pedestal of all drugs are equally awful. And so they may try weed at first, and it's really not that bad, and they have a great time. And so they're like, well, if this isn't that bad, and they're telling me it's all the same, then maybe these aren't that bad either.
How many kids were like popping pills though, and there wasn't a page on like the pills in your parents' cabinet? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or the pills. There wasn't. Or where was the page?
We're just now starting to recognize there's like an opioid epidemic here. You know, like it's not.
In Massachusetts, I met a lot of people that were ex-heroin addicts.
Yeah, it's real bad up there.
For that reason, and actually, the majority of them were white.
Yeah.
Because who has the money for the pills and that kind of shit?
Yeah, I mean, it starts off like you actually do get injured or something, and you do get.
For sure.
They legitimately described it.
They hand you some real dangerous pills.
Legal heroin, basically, you know?
And then and not even, it's artificial, you know? Yeah, and then you start taking that, it's even worse. You start taking that, and then you just...
And then your prescription runs out, but you still have the
fix.
You're still addicted. Yeah. So what are you going to do? You're still going to go out and get it, you know?
Yeah. There's so much weird stuff like that, and again, like I end up going way too far down that road. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic or nothing, you know.
No, I mean,
as you know.
Yeah, no, I hear you. These are all like important issues that can really, if we have the right attitude about it, can kind of help shape the way we function as a society going forward. You
think a bunch of people are stoned here? I mean, well, not even stoned, because like I eat CBD oil candies now.
Yeah.
You know what they are, right?
Oh yeah. I have shitty knees, so I use CBD products all the time.
I recently discovered it.
Oh man,
what amazing. A godsend!
It's amazing, isn't it?
Well, you're making me want to eat one right now. and you don't even get high, dude.
You know what I really like? There are some strains now where it's high THC and high CBD. It's only like a couple, not that
high THC and high CBD.
Yeah, so like,
you have knee problems because of your running.
Yeah, well, and basketball, like years of just jumping and running, left me with bad knees, and it runs in my family too. So,
hear you.
Yeah.
What high THC, high CBD?
So one I actually just had a couple months ago by Solstice was Marmalade 32, which is a great name, and it was something like 16% THC but 14% CBD. So
wow.
Yeah, so you got a really nice overall relaxing body effect.
And you're stoned.
Yeah, but you don't get super stoned. You know, you're still like you're still all the way there, you know, like it was perfect if I had to still do like a task, like I had to like kind of put some brain power towards, but I wanted to like
trying to chill.
Yeah, but I wanted to still chill a little bit.
Like you're washing dishes.
Yeah, that was perfect. That was perfect to where I could like still feel relaxed and take care of like my knees and stuff, but also still get a little buzz going at the same time, which was nice. Don't just get rocked all the time.
Well, dude, I'm telling you, those CBD oils, and I didn't know about them, man. And we actually ended up, we just went to the weed store. We live next to two, our block away. That's awesome, first of all.
Yeah, you're right by that Have a Heart there.
Have a Heart that way, and then there's another one right across from it, and that's popular. But, so we go in there, and we're like, we just want some pot candies, you know? And then we just coincidentally bought something just based off flavor, you know. We want the green ones, and it was CBD, and I didn't even notice. And I remember like I was eating them, and I was like, I just feel good.
Yeah, you just feel good. It's not like
I feel great. I'm not like high or nothing.
Yeah.
And then I ended up, you know, it wasn't like a month later. I ended up finding out. Looked at the package.
It was CBD. Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's CBD. I started seeing that everything says how much THC and how much CBD it has. It's just amazing. It's really and it is, to think that there's from what I've read, and I ain't no scientist or botanist, but to when they tell you that there's like 80 something different cannabinoids,
there's a ton
present.
We're still finding out more,
and whatever a cannabinoid may be, but apparently it's something that your brain processes or is able to process. And if we find so much power in THC and CBD, what about the rest?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
There's more out there.
There is. That's another thing where it's like it comes back to what are our priorities about? Are we about
getting better, being happier,
are we about
being healthier,
getting better and finding different alternatives to help treat people? Or are we about
not ruining our water source and not letting the government tell us what to do, or letting them divide us because of racism or whatever means? That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
But I'm also an artist. I'm all about getting stoned and everybody being loving.
Just super ideal. Everything should be
everybody
awesome.
Loves everybody.
Everyone loves everybody. No judgments.
No judgments. Let's all just be happy. I'll play my guitar. I'll let you do whatever you want.
Just come as you are, man. It's cool.
Oh, it's funny, right? Like the you know that. Well, oh, dude. Before you leave, remind me, I gotta play you this one song by Bob Dylan. It's called "The Times They Are A-Changing."
Yes.
You know it?
Yeah, that's like one of 3 Bob Dylan songs I do know. Yeah.
And that's one of the ones that like I actually liked at least when I was a teenager and didn't listen too much, and only until recently I started playing it, and it was like, yeah, like I feel
Shit
like
hits
that
you, doesn't
again.
it? Yeah.
I just feel like it's like that again, you know.
It is.
The times
definitely
come. How does it go? Come.
I don't know the exact words, but just the overall sentiment, you know, that there's a sea change coming as far as how we think and feel about things in this country. I think is definitely still relevant to today, and even in the future too, which is probably a big reason why they tried to give him that Nobel Peace Prize. Is that you write songs?
Oh,
like
that was another opinion I heard too on the internet, was that he
what?
They tried to give it to him with the undertone of what he represented back then.
Yeah, it's like a Lifetime Achievement Award.
But back then, he always said, like, I ain't no protest songwriter, and I ain't trying to do that. I'm not trying to be everybody's voice.
Yeah.
I'm just a songwriter, and I say what I say.
I want to write.
Yeah, and like, I guess that would be another reason, like, with everything happening right now and the election and everything, like, maybe he just doesn't want to give his opinion because he's done that in the past, and people really criticize him hard.
Or maybe he's just one of those kind of guys where it's just like, I just make my art and I just put it out there and you take it for how it is, you know? Like, it's like I'm not writing this with an agenda, you know? I'm just writing how I feel and what I observe, and if you want to take it this way, then that's up to you. Which is an approach I can respect and appreciate from someone.
Yeah.
Who wants to just kind of make the art they want to make, you know, without having to feel like they're being pigeonholed as like, oh, he's making a statement about.
Though he does talk when you listen to his interviews, he talks about it being a little more divine than that. Like he'll like bluntly just say that he did this one interview, and I don't know if it was who it was, if it was 60 Minutes or something, and it wasn't that long ago. It was like 2014. Yeah. And the guy's asking him like where did all the songs come from and all that. He's like, they just came. He's like, I made that deal. He's like, I made the deal, like I'm gonna, and he doesn't necessarily mean with the devil. I think Illuminati. A lot of people take it that way. The way I take it as an artist and someone that also writes a ton of songs, not a ton, but a few, it's like you make that deal with just existence, and you make that deal like, I'll put the energy in there, and I will go down this path and trusting that the muse will keep coming and the ideas will keep flowing, and that I'm gonna be happy. Yeah,
that's kind of my approach to my own stuff. Like, I mean, regardless of whether I go super hard pursuing this as a career, I will always be writing rhymes and doing stuff like this, just because I always started out doing it just for me, you know. It started out just doing it just for my own sanity, my own sense of well-being. Man. It's like it was like my version of like keeping like a diary or a journal, you know.
But you know what I mean by like that deal, you're like, well, okay, fine, I'll pursue it because it's coming to me.
Because it's coming, I just feel it.
If like you're not prioritizing yourself.
No, you just feel this is just what I should be doing,
man. And we're making, it's like almost you're making an agreement with something, and you don't know what that is. You're making an agreement with something, like, okay, I'll keep doing it if you keep coming to me.
A little voice in the back of your head, whatever you want to call it, you know.
Check this out. Come mothers, come fathers, come mothers, come fathers throughout the land. And don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. If you please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changing.
Yeah, that sums up this year in a nutshell. Oh, my voice popped out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Hold on. One sec. Oh, I see. That was Shannon's foot.
Sorry.
Shannon.
No, you're cool. It's good.
You got it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, but no, that's like, I mean, if someone wrote that today, that would have.
Dude, that would
fit.
still be a hit.
It fit.
It would be a hit today.
It fits, you know.
Yeah, man. It's, and like, I could see him being awarded for something. I could see his ambivalence, you know, and like, yeah, maybe not right now.
Especially since he's the one where it's like, where he was saying himself, where it's like, I made a deal with the divine. So
like, I was just doing it just
exactly.
Because. And
so it'd be kind of weird for them to be like, "Oh, we want to reward you for stuff you wrote 30 years ago." He's like, "Sure, whatever."
Sure, dude. Reward me for what, dude? Yeah. That already happened. It's in the past. And then the guy was asking him like, what was it? He was like, "Could you write those songs today?" And he's like, "No."
What kind of question? That's a bad question.
Yeah. Or he was like, "Could you write that? Could you still write that?" That is kind of a bad question.
You ask any songwriter like any song they wrote years prior. It's like, "Could you write that today?" It's like, no. It's like, no.
I did that then.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a different person.
That's how I felt back then. And that's what came out. You
but
know,
the way
like,
Bob Dylan responded was like no. But like he responded more in that mystical sense. Like he was like no. He was like but I can do other things.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a shit.
That's going down. Yeah. But that's a whole artsy fartsy sort of thing.
That is.
Let's do the concert part.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope this finds you well, cause I've been better, got a good job, but good just isn't good enough. I had a date with destiny, but now I think the bitch done stood me up. My pride is scuffed just like I nicked the curb at night. We might be just a little ahead of schedule, so I'll roll up the curb and we can work to slow the tempo. Forget the memo, keep it fresh as a mento, art with this pencil. I create over instrumentals,
I'm going to the circus, baby, just to see what I can see. I'm bound to bring a big fat bag of weed and some ecstasy. Baby, if I'm lucky, you're gonna come along with me. You're gonna eat a tab or 3. Then you're gonna get down onto your knees. Cause I'm feeling dangerous. I'm just like that dog that's in heat. I go from one bitch to another bitch, but every time I see you, bitch, you beg for me. You know you dangerous too, just like that pussycat in heat. You got that alley all packed up fat with the...
I was a big fan of jazz.
Yeah.
You know, always. Well, I don't want to say always, but since I started smoking weed.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I'm just saying. I was when I was a teenager, I was already a fan of jazz. You know, and I used to skip school and listen to Monk in my car.
Yeah, Thelonious, man. Yeah, no, I listen to Miles Davis all the time. His shit's always playing.
Never got too into Miles Davis. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I gotta listen a little more.
Coltrane is always good.
Coltrane,
too. Yeah.
Well, and him and Monk always played together, but here's something.
Yeah.
We were talking about culture and all of that.
Yeah.
And rap music, I've never heard anybody say that it wasn't black music, you know. But the same thing goes for jazz.
Yeah.
What a different style. And it's interesting that like rap artists like yourself use jazz.
Yeah, I mean I think it's a similar concept where it's like it doesn't matter what your musical training background is, you know, but like if you have a feeling in you that you need to express and you have the means to do it, then by all means express yourself the way you feel like you can over the beat. And I think that's I think that spirit, I think, kind of ties in to jazz a lot. Now, I mean, personally, I grew up, my dad never really liked rap music that much. He played a lot of jazz. Yeah. So I grew up, it was either listening to like Michael Jackson or like shitty radio or like my dad's jazz CDs.
Dude, A Tribe Called Quest has a song where they're like talking about their dad like being like, oh, that sounds like bebop.
Yeah.
What song is that?
Back in the days when I was a teenager, before I had a pager. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, it's killing me. Is it Electric Relaxation? I don't know.
No.
It's on the Low End Theory, I think, though. I'm pretty sure it is.
But there's that parallel between jazz and rap music. Is the that like kind of like skipping around real fast, sort of like almost like speech.
I think it's bugging out.
Is it?
I think.
No, it's not. This is killing me. This is actually killing me.
Isn't that funny though? Like it's true though. Like the kind of like, you know, rapping like that is kind of like
excursions.
And you'll see the stuff I've some of the other tracks I'll do today are pretty jazzy influence, and I think it just speaks to my overall demeanor and vibe. That's just what kind of attracts my ear.
But at the same time, dude, I would find it kind of weird if I saw a young black man playing like I don't know, polka music or like super into like. Well, I'm being kind of abstract there.
Yeah, no.
Like super into like say, I don't know, because I don't really like quote unquote white music in general. You know, I've always liked like jazz and some Latin music and that kind of
Excursions. Thing. It's the track before Bugging Out. Yeah. Had to figure it out.
They're like my favorite.
Yeah, that album's great. Oh man, that's a great record.
Well, I guess I don't even know what like how I see that train of thought anymore, because now I'm thinking of like, well, what music would be what I would find strange if I saw you like super into, but at the same time I'm not into that music, and at the same time when you think about it, who is into that other music? Like black music is basically like, you know,
I mean, it's
taken over.
Yeah, I mean,
more than one way.
I hesitate to even really call it black music anymore because it's proliferated itself so much to where it's like.
We were talking about Eminem
it's for everybody,
a second ago.
You know, I mean, especially with rap because it's so easy to, it's a very low barrier of entry to do it. You know, regardless.
I don't know, man.
No, definitely to make a rap song, it's definitely all you have to do is just get your rap
as anything like as a pop song.
Yeah.
All you have to do is learn 3 chords.
But you have to be able to sing a little bit if you don't want to be completely garbage. You know, you don't have to be able to carry a tune, but if you can rap some words together,
dude, they're still garbage. Come up with
something catchy, you know,
as a musician, it's still garbage to me.
I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah, I think it's garbage too, but for some people, it works for them, you know. I mean, you can feel your certain way about it, you know, as a musician, and I
guess someone I like the things like that.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way as you do as well, but I also do recognize that, like, I mean, anyone can do it. You know, it's at least as far as rapping goes.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, there's that again to relate back to that parallel. Not everyone can do jazz.
No.
And my argument is that not everyone can do rap either, and they can try. I can try.
That depends on your definition of what you would think would be like an authentic like rap song or a rap artist, you know, which can lead down its own trail of like seeming like a little snobbish or whatever. But like, I mean,
but you're talking about like technically anybody.
It just depends on.
Rap.
It depends on what you like. Like you can like the simple kind of more chanty lyrics where there's not too much going on technically, you know, or you can like people like Eminem, or you can like people like Twista or Tech Nine, or like the people, yeah, you know, the people who like. It just depends on your approach to it and what you like to hear from rap, which is what I love about it too. Like I went through a point where I was like openly antagonistic about other types of rap that I didn't like because I felt it wasn't pure enough, or it was like beneath what I felt like a rap song or a rapper should be. But then you get to a point where it's like,
it's art.
Yeah, it's art. People are going to make what they want to make, and I mean, if I'm nodding my head to it subconsciously, but I'm still nodding my head to it, is it that bad? You know?
I was into like A$AP Rocky for a long time.
A$AP's dope though. I like.
It's not about it being that bad. It's just about it not being good.
Well.
You know, like that's when
as a musician, it's not good.
Yeah, that as a musician. Well, I know, but as a musician, that's how I listen. I'm like, yeah, you know, but you're also kind of out of pitch, and you know, like that's how I hear it.
Yeah. But I think at least as far as keeping it within talking about rap is that a lot of that stuff doesn't matter. You know, like if you can capture the at least nowadays with the whole trap and super based out triplet flows and all that stuff, you know, like there's a formula to that kind of stuff now, but it works for a reason because it's catchy and it captures a certain vibe and emotion that people just want to just be able. A lot of people don't really want to listen to lyrics. It's like if the beat is cool and your flows kind of accentuate the beat well, it's good enough for me. You know,
it
doesn't matter.
Molly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Doesn't matter
ecstasy.
like. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're talking about, or it doesn't matter like how many bars you're using or how many like, you know, or whatever. It's like if you can make my head nod and you can make me like chill out, you know, while I'm like getting stoned or whatever, then it's good enough for me. And I've learned to kind of be okay with serving both sides of that, you know. Before I wasn't. That was kind of a hard thing for me. Like, why do people accept such shitty music, you know? But then it's like people like what they're gonna like, and and me feeling righteous about it isn't gonna stop or change anybody's mind. In fact, it's probably gonna do the opposite and make them just dig down even more into what they like, because no one wants to be called out and be told that what they like is shitty. Yeah, you know, that's true. It just makes them more defensive, you know. And that goes with anything, not just music, you know. It's in my experience, at least.
Yeah, I definitely let people like what they like, but god damn, am I a harsh critic.
No, man, I'm right there with you too, because it's like, for me, especially because nowadays, with a lot of guys, it's like the beats are so much better than like their rapping skills. Like producers nowadays are crazy as far as the beats they can make. They're nuts. They sound so
They're
good.
really good. They're good musicians now, the producers.
Yeah, but then I hear like it just being put to waste with just like,
yeah. You're out of pitch. Get it together.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not even coming from an out of pitch thing, but just like just content.
Content doesn't change. There's no chorus. Just so much of it bothers me.
Or like same flow, same content. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, all their songs sound the same. Like literally the same flow. Did you watch that video?
It's the same flow.
Did you watch that video with Snoop Dogg? Calling people out on that?
No.
Oh, dude, you serious?
No.
Oh my god, he was calling out a bunch of people on, like, he was like, nah, everyone's got this. Yeah. Did you watch that video?
I did see that clip of him going off on that.
He was going off on it. Yeah. He was calling people out, and then they were showing videos of like song after song and artist after artist. It's like
same.
No, but like verbatim though.
Now see the way I like to flip it, and you'll see one song I'll be doing here. Uses all of those trendy kind of flows and stuff, but like I like to kind of flip it and put my own twist on it, as far as using my own unique language and not talking about the same things that you would normally hear when you hear a flow like that, because I think that just makes it refreshing. You know, it's like, how many times do I have to hear?
Well, Snoop Dogg said that it used to be called like, biting. Yeah. Like when you sounded like somebody else, and people used to actually get mad.
You don't put your own twist on it. Yeah. You have to like, you can't. I mean, it's like, how many of you guys are all drug kingpins? How many of you guys are all shooting people? How many of you guys are all like, you can't all be doing this, you know? You're all making money and doing shows.
You're doing something else.
You can't all be committing these crimes.
You look too nice. There ain't enough scratches on your face. Yeah. And at the same time, like, dude, Tupac always told people that it was what you shouldn't be doing.
But then again, it comes back to the beauty of the language within the genre, is that it kind of flips that lingo into talking about hustling the music itself, not so much the drug. The music becomes the drug that they're selling, and certain artists like Pusha T and stuff are able to like use that in a way where it's captivating, and it uses similar language to talk about a different product. You know,
it's also false though. It ain't true anymore. What they're saying.
As far as
what they're saying.
So, I mean, I'd have to go into specifics as far as what exactly.
I mean, like, well, let's take. I bet, like, let's take that clip of Snoop Dogg, right? Yeah. And all those songs that he referenced and all those songs that they played. I bet if we listen back to them, half the stuff they're saying ain't true.
Now the stuff he's talking. Now the rappers he's addressing in that comment, yes, for sure, yeah.
And they're pretty famous. They're pretty popular. That's what I'm saying.
But at the same time, it's like how.
And yeah, you can't tell people what to like or what not to like.
I'm not even saying that. Yeah. It's because you see other artists jumping onto that because it's like, oh, this is what's hot right now. But it's like I think it's a short-term approach to it. It's like, you can make your catchy songs and use the musical trends everyone's using, but it's like, I want to make something, and I want to listen to something that I can go back and listen to like years from now. It's like, and 98% of all that shit that Super was addressing, dude. I'm not gonna ever go back to. I may not even listen to it all the way through. It's kind of like junk food. I kind of compare it to, you know, like it's satisfying on like a base level. It's like, oh, this is nice and sweet.
I got a little groove going for the morning.
It's not healthy for me, but it tastes good and I like it and it makes me feel good and amped and I feel good. You know, you can't eat junk food all the time. You got to have a nice balanced musical diet as far as how I feel. You know, it can't just be. It's cool to listen to that stuff, you know, at times, but like you can't. I feel like you need some balance with it. You know?
Yeah. So how do you feel about like jazz music?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess jazz music going to like soul and like sort of like kind of like pop songs, I guess, kind of like Motown and that kind of thing, and then going into like, I mean, like Jackson was, or the Jackson family in general was sort of like an embellishment of what Motown was doing, and then going into hip hop. You know, hip hop is grand, one of the best music things that ever happened, I suppose.
Yeah.
Turning into this junk food, you know.
Well, I mean, and that's but it's also like,
though there is like good, like there's Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, there's also it's also one. I don't know, I want to say tiny slice, but it's just one slice of the whole genre, especially as hip hop as a genre gets older. Like, I mean, it's not even 40 years old
True, dude.
You know,
that's so true.
I see it as kind of taking the progression that rock music has taken, where it's like you have your big main acts, and that's kind of what,
I feel like it went down the drain, dude.
When it's all going, I don't think so, man. I think it's you just have to look for it. You can't.
All the best music genres, I feel like, just always like nothing lasts forever. First of all,
no,
and it's like I was like, again, jazz, fantastic for 20 and then for 20 years, and then well, it came from blues music,
yeah,
and then you know they had their run, and then jazz had its run, and then big bands had their run, and then like rock and roll, which was black music, still had
started out as yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude. Any recordings back then, it was like black people writing the music and white people performing that.
Yeah,
you could talk about all that. I'm talking about genre.
Exactly. We don't have to go into that. Yeah.
I'm just talking about genre. Great blues music.
Yeah.
Goes down the drain. Great jazz music. Well, it doesn't go down the drain. It just entirely. It turns to something else. Right. So turn to jazz, I suppose. If I'm not, ain't no musicologist,
it
but
evolves, yeah.
And then turn into like you know, rock and roll. It's turned into like again the Motown sort of scene, like pop sort of songs, and then turn into like dancey sort of things, and then turn into hip hop, because the hip hop was just taking samples of all those dance songs,
yeah,
you know, and incorporating that, and then turning that going into like more like rap, and then I don't know where it's going. I just don't see hip hop as we know it, or as I don't see hip hop as we know it going farther. I feel like something new has to give. That's just how I guess I sense that.
Yeah, I mean,
there must be something new, and I don't know who's gonna come up with it or who's gonna come around.
That's the beauty of it, and there's a lot of great artists making tons of different cool stuff. And then the reason I compared it to rock is because now you say they're a rock band, but it's like, okay,
they're not rock.
But it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? What kind of rock?
Meaning changed.
There's a ton of different. There's
dude, now like
there's like metal. There's like indie.
Do you remember that HBO
all
like
that kind of stuff
where you scroll down the music? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Remember those?
I do.
The
I
HBO
do.
And it had
those
like
HBO channels. Yeah,
and it had like every single freaking 30 channels of all these different genres, and it's like, whoa.
But I think you're seeing the same thing with rap, where it's kind of there are different. As it's becoming more and more accessible to different people, they're going to start doing it and using it to kind of communicate their experience, and as a result of that, you're going to get a lot of different kind of sounding types of music now. Now there's the commercial rap stuff, which I think has kind of been what we've been talking about, but I think it's so much more. I think it's grown so much more richer than that, as far as the different types of sounds that are out there. But it sucks because you as a listener have to be proactive in seeking that out. You know, like you can stick to your radio and your normal channels, and you could live your whole life and not know about any of that's going on. You know, but that also is a good reason why things like Spotify and SoundCloud and all that stuff is up there, because it gives you a much bigger platform to kind of share what it is you're doing, and for listeners to kind of see that there's a ton of different. Sure, it may all fall under the rap umbrella, but you can have two different opposite sides.
Dude,
of the same spectrum,
something's gonna happen. Something's got to give. But like, one thing that I really noticed is that Well, we were talking a while back. You mentioned like what was going to be studied in schools and that kind of thing.
Yeah. There are certain works that come along where you're kind of like, yeah, that's
super significant.
This will stick around for a minute. Yeah.
Well, now, because that's starting to be studied in schools.
Yeah, like there are classes about Tupac and Biggie's lyrics in college campuses. And
there should be, as there should be. Significant culture, significant whatever. Like, first of all, it's also real. Like, again, like another thing that, side note, again, I don't like how people talk shit that ain't real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, the kids that are studying music now, like myself, like hip-hop.
Yeah.
Might even practice it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sophisticated.
It's a part of pop culture now. You know? Like,
so what's gonna happen when you get like people that aren't just sampling things, but they have a whole group, and the whole group is performing hip hop, but everything's like in your face about it. I'm excited.
Like an evolution of like the roots, almost, so to speak, kind of thing.
It's kind of like how jazz turned into. And there was jazz songs, by song I mean something you sing.
Yeah, yeah.
But there was jazz songs, but jazz going from big band to like Motown. I'm excited to see how hip hop turned to rap, turns into something.
I am too, especially as like I listen to different artists who I feel like are kind of on the right track. It's very interesting to see where
like you said, it's not just black music anymore.
No, it's not.
It's like other people have taken it too, and are using it. Dude, you see a lot of Mexicans doing it.
Yeah, there's a
lot of Mexicans doing it.
Yeah,
I saw this video. Yeah, I saw this video of some Mexican kids doing it in Mayan or whatever their language is. Can you? Yeah, dude. Dope. It was cool.
That's pretty cool.
And I was like, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was interesting, and it's like, I would have probably never even heard that language had they not made a hip hop video.
Oh, right? Yeah, yeah. It's crazy.
Music's great. Let's do that other.
Yeah, let's get into something.
Yeah.